anxiety. So I kept looking and reading more about balance. And here's from a website called themystica.com. The law of balance is simply a statement for conserving personal energy and achieving the greatest proficiency. One's energy or power level must be kept on an even keel. Too much or too little will kill oneself. This energy level is best maintained by avoiding extremes in thinking and action. One must be open-minded, able to consider all alternatives, but strong enough to determine one's personal course in life. This requires the right amount of flexibility to be able to examine new ideas or concepts in order to keep the ones which would improve one's life and reject those that would not. In short, one never goes off the deep end. Pretty good advice. I'm not sure what they said, but the question is, okay, that's what I am supposed to do, but how? How do we do those things? How do we avoid extremes in thinking and action? How do we be open-minded? How do we be flexible? How do we avoid from going off the deep end? So the mathematics approach didn't really explain anything to me. The New Age Enlightenment mysticism didn't really offer any answers to this issue of how to achieve balance. So I kept looking and came across a website written by a woman named Lori McDonald, where she writes about the universal laws of balance. And this is what we are told to do. Sit quietly, breathing in slowly. With each inhalation, breathe in peace, energy, healing, calmness. With each exhalation, release negative emotions such as fear, anger, and guilt. Now this is very revealing. This is where it really started to get interesting. Notice that she says, breathe in peace, energy, healing, and calmness. If we have to breathe in these things, that suggests that we don't normally have those things inside us, doesn't it? If they exist outside of us, and we have to breathe them in, it's because we don't carry them in our being naturally. That is not the natural state of the human condition. And then she says, we release negative emotions, fear, anger, guilt, etc. Well, we release those things because those things do exist naturally inside of us. That's the nature of the human condition. We are naturally selfish. We are naturally angry. We do naturally carry guilt and fear and doubt. We were born that way. But calmness, peace, and serenity do not naturally exist inside of me. They have to be introduced. I have to breathe them in and take them in from an outside source. So she continues by saying, when life situations bring these emotions, allow yourself to feel them, but then sit down and begin your deep, even breathing, releasing tension and negative emotions, and bring yourself back to balance. Bring myself back to balance? Wait a minute. I'm not sure about you. I don't trust myself to always be able to bring myself back to balance because I'm knocking myself out of balance 8, 10, 12 times a day. These things that she tells me to breathe in, they don't naturally occur within me. So how can I be the one that brings myself back to balance? If the ability to balance our lives occurred naturally within us, don't you think by now, 2011, that the human race would have figured it out and would be able to do it consistently so that we wouldn't have all the issues and problems and catastrophes and tragedies that we have locally, statewide, worldwide, or even just within ourselves individually? If we could do that, if we really were capable of doing it, wouldn't we have already done it? The fact is, we can't naturally, normally we do it. We have to look from someplace outside of ourselves to achieve the balance that all these people are talking about. So I'm going to illustrate for you a surefire way to maintain balance in our lives. And I'm going to need a couple of volunteers. I have 2 bags of stones here. So, Doug, you're sitting in the front row there. Would you help me out with this? All right, Rick will help me out. Have a seat just for a second, right? All right. This first bag of dark stones, these are life's troubles, okay? Your company. We're just going to assume for a second. We're going to create a scenario and a situation here. Good News Communications is going under, okay? Doug gets some bad news from the Middle East that his son has been mortally injured in combat. Doug's health is failing. The doctor calls him up and says, you got to get in to take a look at these test results right away. Doug's kids are all over the map. Doug's marriage is in trouble. So each one of these stones, Doug, hold out your hand.
Why did I get stuck with this thing? I had Rick do that.
You were sitting in the front row, getting even with all those fouls playing basketball. These are all these troubles that Doug has in his immediate life. Here's the issue. This is the present moment. This is his life in the here and now. It's not the totality of his life. That's what this rod represents. This is the rest of Doug's life. So what I'm going to have Doug do, I'm going to have you open your hand up, Doug, and here's the challenge now. You're going to have to balance the rest of your life. Hold your hand out. You can't grip it. You have to hold your palm open. And you have to concentrate now, because we're told now if we concentrate, if we breathe in all these good things, exhale all the bad things, you have to balance your life. However, you have to focus your attention. You can only look down here at the present moment, at your present circumstances. Keep your focus of concentration right now in all these difficult things that you're trying to maintain in your life. And while you're doing that, concentrating, everything you got, you have to keep this stick balanced upright. You ready?
Okay.
Here we go.
Come on. He lost some trouble.
Let's give you some more troubles. Here, we'll put your troubles back. Now, remember, breathe out all the fear and the troubles and the guilt, and breathe in the peace and the calmness. But you got to keep your eyes focused on what's right in front of you. Here we go. I'm going to try again. Ready?
That helped.
Yeah. All right. So, by concentrating on the present moment, Doug was not able to balance the rest of his life, was he? All right, Rick, come on up here. Rick, your task should be a lot easier. In this little bag, we've got some very brightly covered, happy little stones. Rick, hold out your hand. Rick's company's doing really well. Rick's got a promotion. Rick's kids are going off to Ivy League schools. Rick just won the lottery. Rick's in the best shape of his life. Rick is plugged into a dynamic church. Rick's life is full of friends. When Rick comes home at the end of the day, his kids throw themselves into his arm and tell him that they love him. This is Rick's present moment. This is Rick's present life. But here's the rest of Rick's life. So you got to do the same thing, Rick. You've got to take this rod now, your future. This is the span of the rest of your life. Just like Doug did, you've got to focus on all these wonderful things in your life. But you have to balance the rest of your life. You must concentrate only on the present moment, your present circumstances. Now, you got a lot of joy here, so this shouldn't be an issue for you, right? All right, ready? Here we go. You did a little bit better.
She's happier.
Let's let's give it one more try. All right, now you got a lot of great things going on in your life. This shouldn't be this should be the platform. This should be the foundation for you. So, again, concentrate on all those wonderful things that you've been blessed with. And just balance the rest of your life. Looking right down here. Concentrate. Take power, take energy, take encouragement from all this great stuff. Ready, set, go. Now, we didn't really get much better results by concentrating on all the beautiful things in Rick's life than Doug got by trying to focus on all the difficult things in his life. Did you see the surveillance video the other day on the news about this woman who was walking down the mall? Did you see this? It's hilarious. She's walking down the mall and the surveillance cameras captured her. And she's texting. She's really into it. I don't know what she's doing, but she's texting and she's walking along, and next thing you know, right into a fountain. Boom! Face down, right into a fountain on her phone. Well, there goes her phone. What was she doing? She was looking down, wasn't she? She had no balance. She couldn't control what happened to her because she was looking down instead of looking up. All right, I need 2 more volunteers. Joe, come on up here. All right, we're going to reach into the bag of troubles, and we're going to hold out your hand, Joe. We're going to dump a bunch of trouble in Joe's life. We already know what these black stones represent. This time, instead of Joe looking down and concentrating on all the troubles in his life, we've introduced the rest of the span of Joe's life here. But instead of his focus and his concentration being down, now we're going to have him look up. And here's what you have to do, Joe. You have to balance everything, not only in your present moment, but you balance the rest of your life. Look up at the tip of the rod and hold your hand out here and get ready. And we're going to have you balance by looking up. Ready?
Okay.
Don't hold your hand so close to your, hold it up. All right, ready? Here we go. I'm going to let go. 1, 2, 3. Look up. Keep looking up. Keep looking up. Don't take your eyes off the top. Throw a few more troubles into your life. Throw another trouble in there. Joe could stand here all day long, balancing all the pain and the difficulties in his life, as long as he looks up. Now, here's what I want you to do, Joe. Take your eyes off the top. I want you to look down at your trouble.
Didn't work out so well.
No, it didn't work out so well. All right.
Played on the team.
Don, come on up here, please. All right, Don, we're going to bless you with a bunch of these joyful things going on. Now, Rick, remember what happened to Rick? He had all these beautiful things in his life, but as long as he looked down, he couldn't keep the rest of his life balanced. All right, so Don is a blessed guy also. He's got a lot of these wonderful things happening in his life. He's got to introduce now the span of the rest of his life in his hand. Same thing, Don. Forget about what lies down here. You know that they're there. Keep your focus and your concentration lifted up. Ready? Here we go. Recovery. Isn't that amazing? Doesn't matter what your present circumstances are. As long as you take your eyes off of your present circumstances and keep them focused up, you can maintain the balance of the rest of your life. Now, take your eyes off the tip, look down at your present circumstances. That's the end of that. All right, how about a big hand for our volunteers?